This video is the worst house I ever inspected. My name is Mike Titino with Safety First Home Inspections, and this video was inspired by the handsome home buyer when he shared a story about the worst house he ever looked at.
How many tons of garbage? Like, I know you said it was floor to ceiling. How many tons of garbage do you think?
There was probably about 180 yards of garbage in the house.
To purchase. So I got the call from a real estate agent who's a buddy of mine. We scheduled the inspection, no problem for his investor. I pull up to the property. I typically do the outside first. And there was your typical defects, just the siding was loose, there was chipped paint, things like that, no big deal. And as I'm walking around to the side of the house, down the driveway, I see two pit bulls in the backyard chained up, like just barking at each other, probably barking at me too, waiting to kill me basically. And I love pit bulls, my favorite dog. Those are my favorite dogs like ever. So I'm going through the backyard now, dogs are barking nonstop, just more defects. The windows are shot, the house is old, the roof is just all over the place. Not too bad. This is where I go inside the house and this is where it starts. So I started from the top and I worked my way down. On the second floor, I knock on the bedroom door and the person kind of cracks the door open, really sketchy, and I'm just like, all right, what's going on here? The landlord finally got me into the bedroom. I go in there, there's a sheet just laying on the carpet as if that was the guy's mattress, I guess. And then there were leaks on the ceiling, no big deal, nothing I haven't seen yet. I go downstairs on the main floor and basically the kitchen floor is basically sagging. There's an active leak just dripping right through the kitchen sink. The cabinets are completely shot. I'm probably one step away from falling through the main floor. That's how bad it was. So there's two bedrooms on the main floor. I go into the first bedroom. There's just stuff piled everywhere, just mess and just, you name it. It was a disgusting house. I go in there and there's a guy playing video games, literally smoking weed, like no big deal. I thought he was gonna pass me his joint too. So I walk in there, he's smoking, playing games, and I'm trying to like not touch anything. The next room, I go in there and there's roaches and there's a guy in the room and there's roaches, and it was like it was normal. It was like the roaches have been there so long, he's just accustomed to it. And I'm just like on the verge of puking at this point. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And this is where it gets even worse, the basement. Go downstairs, there's barely any light, it's dark, gloomy, like everything out of a horror film you can imagine. I go downstairs and the landlord he's right next to me telling me that the boiler is only a few years old, a few meaning like 100 years old. It was rusted, leaking. So when I go in the basement, there's active leaks throughout, and I'm walking through puddles now, and it's a dark, gloomy basement, and there's mold all over the wall. The mold was so black, it almost looked like someone took black paint and just rolled out on the actual, it was probably 3 feet of just solid mold, right? Just all throughout the whole basement. And I'm like, damn, this is terrible. So then I go down the steps and there was a bathroom. Now, I already envisioned the main floor, roaches, the basement, there's mold, there's active leaks, the boiler shot. What can this bathroom possibly look like? I opened up the bathroom door and the toilet was already up, and I kid you not, there was actually a pile of human shit above the toilet seat itself. That's how backed up it was, that it was piled above the actual seat itself. Nothing can get worse. There's nothing. And then it got worse. I'm making my way through the rubbish, the garbage, the junk, this and that, and there's actually people living in the basement. Living in the basement under these conditions. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I couldn't walk through anything. There was garbage everywhere. At that point, I just kind of wrote up the whole house, like, you need to literally tear this house down. There's nothing you could save, nothing worth saving at all. Just everything is shot, and may God have mercy on your soul. So that's the worst house I've ever inspected.